The first little group of images you see here is the Service Employees International Union. Hopefully I'll remember to tell you about it later. But the second sequence of screenshots you'll see describes the Congressional Progressive Caucus and some of the things that they advocate and some of the people that endorse them, including the Democratic Socialist of America. Who are they? Well, at one time they claimed to be affiliated with the new party and claimed that Barack Obama was a member of the new party. He denies it. I think he's lying. Here's a sequence of screenshots from the video How Obama Got Elected. These people didn't know the answers to these questions, not because they were stupid, but because the media controls what they learn. Here's an example of propaganda put out by the, what are they called? The National Resources Defense Council. And how did I get their website? Well, I was checking out Investigative Reporters and Editors, the Center for Investigative Reporting, because they were found to have been the source of Dan Rather's false story about AIDS being created and planted by the U.S. military to destroy the black people. And here, on the Chicago Democratic Socialist website, where they talk about Obama being part of the new party, I googled a phone number. I was curious who was this for Caucus, Frickus, Rockus, whatever his name is, Fitracus, and I learned some of his affiliations. I am of the opinion that all this leads back to Saul Alinsky and beyond. Of course, all the way back to Marx and Engels and beyond that. And here's this CBS talking about the AIDS virus. Here are the weapons inspectors leaving Baghdad for the 3rd, 4th, 6th, 10th time because Saddam didn't cooperate with them. Here's Carlos the Jackal. I have a theory that he knew Che Guevara and trained with Che Guevara in Cuba. And here's Che as a young man and his wife, his beautiful wife. All of these many groups are interconnected. They're independent to some extent. They're cooperating to some extent. It makes quite a bit of confusion for people trying to figure out who's who and what they do. They even have people in the Supreme Court. They confuse people like Jim Fitzer, who not only believes that George Bush destroyed the trade towers, he says, but he also believes that George Bush's right-wing fanatics murdered Kennedy. And that also was a story planted by the Soviet KGB. And here's a picture of me. At the end of the day, I took this picture of myself because I was covered with yellow paint. It doesn't really show up well. And incidentally, my eye was burned by a welding arc. I was covered with dirt and paint, and my eye was burnt by a welding arc. I had borrowed a camera, so I pointed at the mirror and took a shot of myself just for the heck of it. And that's now my channel icon. The communists would have you believe that I'm CIA, or they'd say that I'm a pampered rich kid. And I earned what little money I've got working in a steel fab shop. And I kind of liked it. And I'm laid off now. And I'm slowly running out of money, my savings. And I have to find something to do until the little recession is over. Now that you're introduced to some of the topics, in my videos I'll try to tie some of this together, draw some conclusions. And that's what I've been trying to do for, believe it or not, about the past 2 years. You can imagine how hard it is to communicate to a general audience things that you yourself don't quite understand. But what I'm leaning toward is that European leftist radicals instigate things in America through labor unions. Case in point, Obama and his Acorn people and their members of Congress, members of the group called the Congressional Progressive Caucus, caused this financial crisis by all these bad mortgages that were guaranteed by Freddie Mac and Fannie Mae, and then derivatives issued by AIG, Bank of America, Citigroup, and all of it collapsed. Rather than have the American people come to understand the truth that this was Obama's group, Acorn, and the Democratic Socialist of America, the European radicals who were trying to spread socialism, the point of the protest was to have the media carry the story that the American people are mad at AIG because it was AIG and Citigroup, various banks that were irresponsible. That's the end of the story, and we'll punish them by withholding their bonuses. No, that's not the story. The tentacles of the Socialist International reach all the way to America. Obama and his bunch are part of it. This financial crisis was orchestrated. It was not an effort to help the poor that went astray. No, it was an orchestrated crisis. These loans were never meant to be repaid. And false confidence was generated throughout the banking system, so the whole thing would come crashing down. That is the CLOWARD PIVEN strategy of orchestrated crisis. The workers protesting, these union workers protesting here, were part of the cover-up. And even Fox News bought into it, at least for a while, and even some very savvy Republican congressional leaders, such as Darrell Issa, were momentarily confused by it, and were pointing the finger at Bank of America and AIG when the real culprits were sitting right there in the Congress with them. All members of the Congressional Progressive Caucus, CPC.